It's 7:51. This is BBC Radio London. So last Thursday was World AIDS Day, which was marked by a series of events across the globe. And it's been 35 years since the first published reports of what would come to be known as HIV/AIDS. And since then, that disease has wrought enormous suffering and devastation, causing more than 35 million deaths worldwide. And although antiviral drugs have meant sufferers can go on to live long and successful lives, awareness of the disease, or lack of awareness of the disease, is as high as it's ever been. More than 40,000 Londoners are currently living with HIV, with more than 2,000, close to 3,000 Londoners being diagnosed last year alone. One organisation which is trying to tackle the stigma that exists and reach young Londoners is the Actionplus Foundation, which has trained a group of young ambassadors aged between the ages of 13 and 24 from Black African church communities in southeast London to tell other young people of the dangers of HIV and sexually transmitted diseases. I'm delighted to say that the Reverend Fred Annan from the foundation, along with two young ambassadors, Junior and Nana, are here in the studio. Good morning to you all. Morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Great to have you with us. Reverend Fred, tell us a bit about this, because this is quite an innovative way to approach this challenge of HIV and AIDS.
Yes, we have decided to do this project because HIV is still high in London, and most of these young people were not born when we had that devastating effect of HIV in the early 80s.
Yeah.
And these days we don't hear people talk much about HIV, and that is a danger that is pursuing these young people. So we believe as we are growing and they are coming up, they also need to champion and educate their peers about this epidemic. And that is why the vision just came to us.
I mean, I have to say that talking about sex at the best of times is like the most uncomfortable thing on the planet. So, and actually when you're a teenager or a young adult, that also must be challenging. Nana, tell me a bit about the kind of conversations you're having with people then. I mean, how do you bring it up? By the way, are you being careful?
Well, I'm 17, by the way,
Okay.
so I'm almost an adult.
Okay.
So for me...
All right, she says, I'm almost an adult. Don't look at me like some young person.
And at school, we have like sex education.
Yeah.
Like people coming to talk to us about, like, be careful,
Yeah.
Safe if you want to do it, use a condom, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So my friends, everyone knows about it. We're all cautious. We all know what is right and what is wrong. But some people do make silly decisions.
Yeah.
But with my friends, it's okay. I just bring it up. Hey guys, when they turn 18, because I'm the youngest among my peers.
Okay.
So whenever someone's 18, I'm like, make sure you don't do this. So it's all right, because we all know each other and we're comfortable around each other.
Okay.
It's only hard when you're talking to it with an adult, especially my parents. Like my dad is a bit, awkward. But with your friends, you get what I mean?
Yeah, no, I absolutely hear you. I couldn't have imagined anything worse than having a conversation about sex or, with my parents. That's
but,
definitely...
my parents are really supportive. They always advise me in that. If there's an issue, I just go to them. But it's just a bit,
Yeah. and Junior, tell me a bit about, because, there's a lad culture that everyone talks about. I mean, I'm sure you're not part of it, but, there's a lad culture about, there's this swagger going on, like, hey, when you're having the conversation, because being an ambassador is kind of quite a heavyweight thing. What kind of conversations are you having?
For a guy, it's not really as hard talking about it as a female, because for guys, it's like trophies. Like when you get down with a girl, it's like trophies. So like when they come back, they try to say, this girl, I did this girl and that, but and sometimes it makes it easier for you to open up to them and talk to them about, wait, did you use protection?
Yeah.
This is wrong. You shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
You need to watch out for yourself and look up to yourself. Yes.
Yeah. I wonder about this because, we know that obviously on the ground, Reverend Fred, that there are people who are already doing this, but it's unusual to have a church involved in this way, because it's one of those things that, we're just talking about, not talking about it with your parents, let alone talking about it in church or etc. Just tell us a bit about the thinking about that, because it sounds like you're trying to bring church into the reality of the 21st century.
Yes, we have been working on HIV issues since 1997.
Yeah.
So we have really gone far to change things in the area of faith-based organizations like us who are connected directly with the church, we know the situation on the ground. So we have been able even to break the stigma around HIV, and also educating pastors about how they will understand that HIV is not just a curse as they think it is a curse. It's never a curse, but it's just one of the diseases, unfortunately, we have in our world today. You know, and that message has gone far. So bringing church into HIV intervention, we found it to be very, very paramount.
Right.
And our experience also have led us really to discover that these young people too don't have to be neglected.
Yeah.
They have issues that we need to sort them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And looking at what Nana was saying, we know that we as parents, we normally go hard on our children.
Yeah.
Don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes they don't take us for serious. But then when something comes out from among themselves, like the teenagers, they understand themselves better because they know the language, they know the outcomes, the things they are looking for.
Yeah.
You know, and the connection is also there.
Yeah. I mean, what kind of training are you getting, Anna? I mean, so to be a young ambassador, I presume that you had some form of training, did you?
Yes,
what was the training like?
Basically, you had people, or doctors, and like people who like interviewers come in to train us on how to be, you know, good at public speaking. And I say, you know, most people in this world are really ignorant about how you get HIV. Like, most people think, oh, you can only get it through sex, but that's not the case. You can get it through, like, from mother to child, like, using an infected, you know, needle sort. So they just came in to, like, expand our knowledge on it, and basically other kind of diseases that are in the world, just so we understand, like, the impact and the effects it has.
Junior, were you taken aback by some of the stuff that you heard when you were doing the training? Were there surprises for you in things that you heard?
Not only on HIV, we did on sexually transmitted diseases as well. And sometimes just by touching a person's sore on the body, you can contract their sexual disease. And that was kind of surprising, because I didn't know by touching a person you could get that. But HIV, when you touch a person, you don't get HIV.
No, because you have to be very clear that, you know, because otherwise you end up with those stereotypes. We're going to have to leave it there, sadly, but thank you for the work that you're doing amongst your peers, you know, Junior and Anna. That's really important. And Reverend Fred, thank you very much for the work that you're doing as a church and have continued to do over these many years. Delight to have the Reverend Fred Annan and also Junior and Nana in the studio with us. As always, anything you hear you want to comment on, 0207 22 42,000. Here's Pippa Sparks with the travel.